Today we're going to review the new Zoom frog. It's pretty unique. It's unlike a lot of other frogs on the market, and it definitely catches fish. From fishing the Zoom frog, I've found there are three things that make it pretty distinct from a lot of the other frogs on the market. The first being, it is super durable. And I mean, I've caught over a dozen fish on one frog. They hold up really well, which is sweet because they come in a 3-pack, so you got to make them last a little while. It's not like really any soft plastic I've put my hand on, and that's because it's not that soft. It's actually elasticy, if you will. And it's pretty insane how tough it is, given the fact it's a kind of a weird type of plastic. The second thing about this frog is it has a very unique sound to it. It's almost whopper plopper-esque. As you're reeling it across the water, it leaves a pretty sweet bubble trail, but it's got this little gargle to it that sounds very whopper ploppery. Fish definitely can't resist it, but I think it also helps call fish up if you're throwing it over a expansive grass flat or something like that. And the other thing is it floats, which is super cool. You know, a lot of soft plastic frogs have salt or something in them, so they want to sink. This you can actually throw out and kind of work two targets and let it just sit there for a second. You can almost twitch it like a popper, and you'll just get those legs to kick a little bit, and you can hit very precise targets with it. Now you can throw out, you can fish pinpoint targets, kind of twitch it along before you got to get burning back on your retrieve. So it makes it a little more versatile in that respect. Well, there's a lot of things I like about this frog. There were a couple things I found that I didn't really like. The first being selecting the right hook. It took me a little bit of trial and error to get this right, but I found a 5/0 extra wide gap. You could probably go 6 if you really wanted to, work the best. Now I'm used to throwing on a Zoom horny toad. I throw a lot of hooks with a screw lock. However, this plastic is so durable, it's A, hard to get that spring in there, and B, when you catch a fish, it almost rips out instantly. And it just kind of creates a little more hassle than it needs to. So I think Zoom actually recommends throwing an extra wide gap type hook, and that's what I did. The second thing I didn't really like about this frog is probably more just because of the hook I used. Like I said, I used an extra wide gap. However, it was unweighted, so when you throw it out there, it would kind of land on its back and leaving that hook point to drag across the surface and pick up whatever weeds are floating. This plastic is too durable to actually skin hook the point in the back of the frog, so it's kind of two nitpicky things, but it definitely was kind of a hassle. All things considered, I think the positives greatly outweigh the negatives of this frog, and to be honest, some of them were probably more growing pains for myself than anything else. If you like throwing a buzzbait or a soft plastic frog around moderately heavy to sparse vegetation, you should definitely look into getting a pack of these Zoom frogs. They come in 6 colors, 3 per pack, and they retail for $9.99. Check them out now at your local retailers.